I love animals. I love them so much that for a while I tried eating a vegan diet. Didn't really work out for me though, because the only way I could get the vegetarian bacon to taste right was to deep fry it in actual bacon grease, which I think you can only get away with doing a couple of times a week before they kick you out of the vegan club. It was also keeping me away from my absolute favorite food in the world, which is a bacon cheeseburger, which, when you stop and think about it, is actually several layers of sadness on a bun. First of all, you have the ground beef, which is bare minimum one animal. Who knows, could be more. Then you have your bacon, which is, dead pigs, and everybody loves pigs because everybody's seen Babe, and that's very sad. Then you have the cheese, which is actually sadder than the rest of it because it's not even a dead animal. It's baby food stolen from them and turned into people food. And to make matters worse, if you have mayonnaise on it, well, that's made with eggs, and that could have been somebody's child someday, but they turned it into food. Now I thought about this, and it made me start to think, but when animals are taken into the slaughterhouse, that's not a nice way to go. I mean, the whole premise of Texas Chainsaw Massacre was the fact that they treat human beings like those animals, and it's horrifying the way these things die. I mean, they walk in there, they're staring at their friend's ass, and the next thing they know, some guy's putting a thing against his head and blowing a hole in his brain. Which made me think, in horror movies, it's that kind of death that causes hauntings. So are slaughterhouses and farms like filled with the spirits of animals that died these horrible deaths? Like one day they're walking along, as a pig, he's been eating grain and having a good day, and he's like, "Oh, look at this! They're taking us in here and walking us into a line. What could possibly be going on?" And then next second he's dead, and then he's floating above his body, and he's peaceful, and he doesn't know what happened. As far as he's concerned, the farmer was probably his friend. And then, as he's watching what they're doing to his corpse, like, dread is probably filling him as he's waiting to float up to pig heaven or whatever. And he's like, "But these people were my friends. Like, they fed me and took care of me every single day. Oh my God, he's cutting my head off. What the fuck?" And then, like, "Come over here, other pig, I don't know, Fred, whatever," and they're sitting there and they're hugging each other in terror as they watch their bodies get dismantled and turned into food. And, stomach gets sent off here and turned into bacon, and their back gets turned into, pork chops, and it's just this terrible, awful thing. Now, imagine if that experience was so horrible for them that they wound up tied to their meat. So while you're sitting there on the couch, if you're like me, because you don't go into restaurants because you hate people, so you go through the drive-thru because that is the greatest invention ever for introverts. I only have to talk to the person through a microphone and then very quickly through a window to hand them my credit card. I don't even have to make eye contact with them. And then you take it home, you're sitting there on the couch, and you're getting ready to take a bite into your cheeseburger, and all of a sudden you're moo. You can just kind of blow it off. Maybe you're hearing things, if you're like me, you're eating fast food and drinking heavily alone because you're a sad person. Then you go to take another bite and you hear the moo again. Then there's an oink, maybe a squeak because, a rat fell into the hopper when they're grinding the beef. And, that's a terrifying thought, the haunted food. And then you just ingest it and it sits there in your stomach, and you have a horror movie brewing until you crap it out the next day. And just imagine how horrible it is in a hot dog, because some of those things are made with chicken, beef, and pork. So you have like this Lovecraftian mix of farm animals that you've ingested. And I just imagine that somewhere in the world, in lunatic asylums or something, are men screaming bloody murder in horror over the fact that they've ingested a small farm, and all those clucks and oinks and moos are going on in their head all the time.